the GOATs, right? How you gonna sit there and tell me Steph is not in that conversation?
I said that before.
You get what I'm saying? You can't sit there and tell me.
I said that and people clown me.
In Steph's eyes, right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know. It probably sit from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Curry looking for that opening. Steps back. Crossover. Fires away. Wow! Another three! James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble. Layup off the glass. Shot clock winding down. Curry's going to have to put it up. Launches it up. Shot clock. Oh! He knocks it down!
He's not going to put Braun over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument.
Steph Curry just dropped a statement that had a lot of people heated. When asked where he ranks himself among the greatest players ever, he didn't hesitate. Mike first, Kobe second, and me third. That confidence sent shockwaves through the basketball world. Fans couldn't stop talking. Many laughed, calling it pure delusion, saying there's no way Steph belongs in that conversation. But what if people are missing something big here? What if Steph actually has a legit case that no one's ready to accept? Because when you really break down what this man has done and how he's done it, his legacy might be tougher to crack than anyone's in NBA history. By the end of this, you might just look at Curry in a whole new light.
Oh my goodness, T. Murray mid-court trying to keep from getting a catch. Here's Curry deep. Triple tens go, we're tied again.
That shot, it's the kind of thing only Steph Curry can pull off. Effortless, fearless, and downright unreal. Before Steph stepped onto the scene, the Golden State Warriors were an absolute mess. Calling him dad would have been kind. Between 1995 and 2009, they were scraping the bottom with a 37.6% win rate, the third worst in the entire league. Only the Los Angeles Clippers, who looked cursed by the basketball gods, and the Vancouver Grizzlies, who were struggling so hard they had to pack up and move to Memphis just to survive, were worse off. When Steph showed up, everything changed, and it wasn't by accident.
Curry handling, crossing over, driving in, clinging on his hip. Circles to the corner, space. This and fires a three, hit another one. He's hit three in a row.
Did you see what happened though on that play?
Oh, beautiful.
5 playoff wins in 14 years. That says it all. That number alone screams how hopeless this franchise once was. It ranked as the second lowest total in the entire league. The Grizzlies were the only team worse, with 0 playoff wins in that stretch, which somehow made Golden State look slightly respectable, and that's saying something. Back in 2009, if you had told anyone that the Warriors would soon dominate basketball for the next decade, people would have laughed straight in your face. But what happened next changed the entire game forever. Nobody, not fans, not analysts, not even the league itself saw it coming. Steph's road to greatness is built completely different. He didn't hop onto a ready-made dynasty, didn't chase easy rings by teaming up with superstars. He built his empire from the ground up.
Hannah, I'm told that James Harden wants a trade to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Apparently Durant requested a trade from the Nets today.
This stuff is hard. And you got to stay together if you got the guts. And you don't find the first door and run out of it.
The team everyone mocked as hopeless became the standard of dominance for a whole generation. And that's what truly separates his legacy from everyone else's. He didn't just play the game, he reshaped it. Loyalty in sports. These days, it's mostly just talk. Nice quotes on posters of fake interviews. But Steph Curry, he actually lived it. When everything around him fell apart, he stayed 10 toes down. The 2020 Golden State Warriors were a total wreck. 15 wins, 50 losses, dead last in the league. Every basketball insider called the dynasty finished. People said it was over, that the magic was gone. But when Steph came back healthy the next year, he dragged them to 39 wins all by himself. Still missed the playoffs, sure, but that fight, that fire, it proved the story wasn't done. And while the media was busy writing Golden State's obituary, Steph was already plotting their comeback. This is where Steph Curry showed his built different. When everything went wrong, he didn't ask for a trade, didn't jump on a podcast event, and didn't send his agent to whisper frustration stories to reporters. He didn't throw shade at the front office when their moves didn't make sense. He just kept showing up, head down, believing in the vision when nobody else did. That kind of patience in today's NBA, unheard of.
You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
Curry against Horford, gets past him inside, off the glass again. Fakes, fires, three-pointer, bang! Steph Curry from downtown, a 15-point lead.
But to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
Meanwhile, his peers, totally opposite. LeBron James switched squads 4 times. Kevin Durant, 4 different franchises. James Harden set a record with 5 teams. And Kawhi Leonard bounced around twice while managing his minutes like a luxury car. Fans sometimes forget Kawhi even plays anymore. This generation of basketball is all about movement. Players switching sides the second things get hard. Everybody wants the smart move, chasing easy championships with other stars. But Steph, he said, nah, I'm doing it my way. He stared down that whole culture of team hopping and doubled down on loyalty. Then came 2022, and boom, the basketball world was in shock. Golden State rose from the ashes and took the championship when everyone had counted them out. The media couldn't believe it. They'd already written the Warriors off years ago. The story was supposed to be over. Steph was wasting the end of his prime on a roster that couldn't compete, they said. Analysts claimed the dynasty was done for good, but Steph flipped that entire narrative on his head. That 2022 title wasn't just another ring. It was a statement, loud and clear. The moment Kevin Durant walked out that door, everyone thought the Warriors' run was finished, but they couldn't have been more wrong. Steph Curry turned that doubt into fuel and carried a beat-up squad running on pure heart to his 4th championship. And finally, he got the one thing missing from his collection, that long-awaited Finals MVP trophy. That 2022 ring hits different. It means more than any other championship on his resume, not just because of stats or who he beat, but because of what it represented. That victory proved once and for all that Steph never needed Kevin Durant to win at the highest level. It showed that Golden State's dynasty wasn't built on luck, timing, or stacked rosters. It was built on Steph's greatness. When the world turns your back on you and you still find a way to win, that's the kind of grit that separates the true legends from the ones who never quite reached that mountaintop.
Right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know. It probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me. Right? Like, he's not going to put Bron over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument.
And I asked the question.
To sit there.
People love to talk about longevity, usually throwing names like LeBron James and Kevin Durant into the mix. They get endless praise for aging gracefully, but Steph, he's right there with him, performing at the same elite level, and barely anyone gives him his credit. Right now, he's putting up 28.5 points a game, shooting 47% from the field and nearly 30% from deep. That's not slowing down, that's dominance. He's dropped 40 or more points 3 times this season alone, including that crazy 49-point explosion that reminded everyone his prime isn't going anywhere. Steph's pushing 38 and still breaking down defenses like it's nothing. He's got 44 games with 40-plus points after turning 30, tying Michael Jordan himself for the most in NBA history. That number right there should silence every argument about longevity. And think about that. Michael Jordan, the man most considered untouchable on the all-time list, shares that same rare stat with Steph. Guards aren't even supposed to age like this. Usually, their legs slow down, the quickness fades, and the shot loses rhythm. But not Steph. He's rewriting every rule about how long greatness can last. Over time, Steph Curry has shattered every expectation about how a point guard is supposed to age. He's breaking all the rules experts thought they understood about decline and longevity. LeBron gets endless love for still dominating in his late 30s. Analysts build entire shows praising his conditioning and long-term greatness. But Steph, he's putting up the same elite production from a position that usually burns out way faster. And somehow, he barely even gets mentioned. It's wild. People decided years ago where Steph ranked all time, locked that opinion in and just refused to change it, even when the numbers keep proving him wrong. The stats tell a story that fans and media conveniently ignore. What really separates Steph from almost every other superstar today isn't just the points or the rings, it's how he carries himself. In this new era of player empowerment, his professionalism looks straight up old school. These days, players are hopping on podcasts weekly to air out their frustrations, calling out front offices, or dropping dramatic trade requests on Instagram. It's become normal. Superstars running their own narratives to boost their image, even if it makes teammates or coaches look bad. But Steph, he doesn't play that game. He keeps it clean, quiet, and professional, like someone from a whole different era. For him, it's simple. Clock in, dominate, clock out, then come back and do it again.
7 to shoot. Curry, deep one, bullseye!
Almost lost it out of bounds. Curry cutting. Oh my goodness.
See Murray at midcourt trying to keep from getting a catch. Here's Curry, deep triple, it's good! We're tied again!
You know, and the shot he made to tie towards the end, it's a shot that, only he can make.
Even when the Warriors hit rough patches, Steph never threw his teammates under the bus, not once. In interviews or pressers, he always kept the blame off others and the focus on the grind. Sure, he's human. There were definitely times when front office moves frustrated him, but he never turned that into a public circus. Media members tried again and again to stir up controversy around him, hoping to get a reaction, but Steph never bit the hook. Every single time, he shut it down with class and composure, proving that real leaders don't need to talk loud to make noise. Franchise players who carry themselves like Steph Curry are rare. That kind of leadership isn't flashy, but it means way more than most fans even realize. Sure, you can compare Steph to legends like Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, or Tim Duncan, and he absolutely holds his own. But the real story comes when you line him up against the stars of his own generation. That's where Steph truly stands alone. His peers all played the same game, jumping ship, forming super teams, and chasing easy championships the moment things got tough. Loyalty became optional, and chasing rings became the smart move. Nobody criticized it because that's just how modern basketball worked. But Steph, he flipped that whole trend upside down. And that's why his accomplishments hit harder. When a player sticks it out through the ups and downs, takes the longer road, and still comes out on top, that means something deeper. You can't compare that to someone who just joins a ready-made contender. Look at Carmelo Anthony. He tried to build something special in New York, but the whole plan fell apart while the Knicks stayed stuck in chaos. Then there's Shaq, one of the most dominant forces we've ever seen. He reached the finals young in Orlando, lost, and immediately bounced to LA when a better shot came calling. Even those all-time greats with all this size, power, and skill didn't pull off what Steph Curry did, building a dynasty from scratch, keeping it alive through tough seasons, and coming out the other side with your legacy stronger than ever. That takes something way beyond raw talent. It takes faith, patience, and the kind of inner fire that no stat sheet can measure. Steph didn't just build a team, he built a culture, and that's what makes his legacy untouchable. Steph Curry's 30s have been nothing short of legendary. When you look at his resume from that stretch alone, it rivals almost anyone in NBA history. 2 more championships headline that decade of greatness, along with a Finals MVP, 7 All-NBA selections, and even a scoring title. That's a resume most players could only dream of across an entire career. And what makes it even crazier is that he did all this while the roster around him kept changing. Key players went down with injuries at the worst possible times, but Steph just kept showing up and leading the charge. Every time people said the Warriors were finished, he came back stronger and proved them wrong again. The game itself doesn't even look the same anymore because of Steph Curry. He completely redefined what's possible from 30 feet out, turning deep threes into one of basketball's deadliest weapons. Teams that used to think shooting 40 threes a game was insane now do it regularly. Young players who used to be benched for pulling up from half court are now encouraged to take those shots. Coaches all over the league have rewritten their playbooks around spacing and shooting, and general managers are building entire rosters based on the Curry effect. Even at the youth level, player development programs now prioritize perimeter shooting like never before. Very few athletes in any sport can say they've changed how the entire game is played, but Steph Curry, he's one of them. He didn't just dominate basketball, he revolutionized it. When you really step back and look at everything, it's clear Steph Curry didn't just change basketball, he elevated it. His influence stretches far beyond Golden State, shaping the entire culture of the sport. Kids growing up now don't want to dunk like Jordan, they want to shoot like Steph. Every playground, every high school gym, every pickup court echoes his style. Quick release, deep range, fearless confidence. What's wild is how effortlessly he made the impossible look routine. Those no-look threes, the sidestep bombs from 35 feet, the smooth handles that leave defenders spinning, that's become the modern blueprint for greatness. Steph brought joy back into the game, reminding everyone that basketball could be fun and still dominant. Even opponents admit it. Players who once tried to guard him now call him the most terrifying offensive weapon they've ever faced. Coaches spend sleepless nights trying to design defenses that still don't work. Every time you think you've seen his limit, he finds a new way to break it. But what really seals his legend isn't just the shooting, it's the energy. The way he leads, celebrates his teammates, and carries himself with humility while rewriting history at the same time. He's the rare superstar who makes everyone around him better without needing to control the spotlight. Steph Curry's story is the ultimate reminder that greatness doesn't have to come from brute strength or drama. It can come from discipline, belief, and pure love for the game. He's already changed how basketball is played, and when it's all said and done, he might just change how greatness itself is defined. At this point, there's no denying it. Steph Curry isn't just one of the greatest shooters ever, he's one of the greatest players ever, period. What makes his story so powerful is that he didn't fit the mold of a traditional NBA superstar. He wasn't the tallest, the fastest, or the most athletic guy on the court, but he turned every so-called weakness into a weapon. He showed the world that you don't need superhuman size to dominate a sport built on giants, just insane skill, vision, and an unstoppable work ethic. Every night he steps on the court, it's a reminder that basketball IQ and dedication can outshine raw athleticism. That's why so many young players see him as hope, proof that greatness comes from effort, not genetics. And let's be real, his legacy keeps growing. He's already sitting among names like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and Magic. And what makes it special is how he got there. No shortcuts, no super team chases, no drama-filled exits, just loyalty, consistency, and winning the hard way. Every major moment of his career has been built on doubt. Doubted by scouts, doubted by analysts, doubted by rivals, and yet every time he flipped the narrative. From a skinny college kid at Davidson to a four-time champ and global icon, Steph's story is one long highlight reel of proving people wrong. And here's the crazy part, he's not done yet. Even in his late 30s, he's still torching defenses, setting new records, and inspiring a new generation to dream big. Steph Curry's impact doesn't end when the buzzer sounds. It echoes through every young player who believes that skill, heart, and belief can change the game forever. When the story of basketball is told decades from now, Steph Curry's name won't just sit in the conversation, it'll define an era. He didn't just play in the modern game, he created it. Every shift in strategy, every new wave of players launching deep threes, every kid mimicking that quick release, it all traces back to him. Steph didn't follow a path, he built one. His legacy isn't measured only in rings or records, it's in the way the game feels different because of him. He made the three-pointer not just a weapon, but an art form. He turned ball movement, spacing, and selflessness into the cornerstones of a dynasty. His influence touches every level, from the pros to middle school gyms, from sneaker culture to highlight reels viewed by billions online. And through all that success, Steph stayed grounded. No scandals, no drama, no public meltdowns, just pure professionalism and competitive fire. That's what makes his greatness so rare. He managed to dominate a cutthroat era of basketball without ever losing his authenticity. Years from now, fans will argue about stats, rankings, and MVPs, but there's one thing nobody will be able to debate. Steph Curry changed the game. His impact runs deeper than numbers. It reshaped the entire rhythm of basketball. He showed that leadership doesn't have to be loud, that dominance can come with joy, and that loyalty still matters in a world obsessed with quick wins. Steph's story isn't just about success, it's about staying true to who you are while changing everything around you. When the lights fade and the next generation takes over, the league will still be living in the world that Steph Curry built. When you really break it down, Steph Curry calling himself the third greatest player of all time, right behind Jordan and Kobe, doesn't sound crazy anymore. In fact, it starts to make perfect sense. Building a dynasty instead of joining one? That takes something far deeper than talent. It takes patience, vision, and belief when nothing seems to be working. Steph didn't take shortcuts. He trusted the grind and built his empire brick by brick. While others jumped teams and chased the easy route to rings, Steph stayed loyal. He stuck through the dark seasons when the wins were gone and the critics were loud. That kind of faith, you can't measure it with stats. It's something that shows true character, and that's what separates him from everyone else. He didn't just win games, he changed the entire sport. His impact is everywhere, from how teams draft, to how they shoot, to how kids practice. And now, even in his late 30s, he's still dropping numbers that most players could only dream of. As time goes on, historians will look back and realize Steph wasn't just part of basketball's story, he rewrote it. So maybe the real question isn't whether Steph Curry belongs among the all-time greats. Maybe it's why so many people are still trying so hard to keep him out of that conversation when his resume speaks louder than any opinion ever could. If you made it this far, make sure to like, share, and drop a comment. Where do you think Steph ranks among the legends? Do you think he's top 3 or maybe even higher? Let's talk about it below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest moments, the biggest players, and the biggest stories in basketball. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.